Hello everybody, I'm Alex and welcome to Eat and Exercise for the Perfect Body. We are very excited because this is our first video. This is recipe number 1. It's chicken, pasta and pine nuts. So forgive us because we're still experimenting. I've never cooked the dish before. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute, but we're going to have a lot of fun, you and I, doing so. These recipes are going to be on YouTube every week. You may have already seen our introductory video, which we did last week, where we just showed you the basics that you need in your kitchen, very simple ingredients, and some tools that you should have, and I think all of you will have by now, because the point is to keep everything simple. The main issue of these recipes is to let you know that we're not chefs, as you're going to find out in a minute. We are just like you. We've had a tough day at work, we've battled traffic, we've just arrived home, we're a little tired, maybe a little stressed, but we're hungry. And instead of doing the usual things, which a lot of us do, and open that fridge door and wonder what we can have tonight and make a last minute decision, and usually open a packet or a box, we're going to show you how to use very simple ingredients, how to cook a healthy and nutritious recipe and do it pretty quickly in under 25 minutes, and everything that we do is under 400 calories. So of course, if you want to stay healthy, if you want to lose weight, if you want to keep lean, if you want to add a little bit more protein, you can jig the recipes around, but all of them are under 400 calories and they are very tasty. This is not like one of those cooking channels where everything's going to be done finitely and you're going to be scratching your head trying to understand what the ingredients mean and where you can buy them. As I said earlier, most of the stuff we're using is very simple to get, and it's not very expensive. While it's cooking, I'm going to come back to my balcony here. Chris is standing on there filming me right now. We work together as a team, and I'm going to show you while it's cooking how to perform each week and exercise with proper form. Today it's going to be the push-up. During the video, I'm going to ask you a question. The answer will be in the video as well. Go to the website, fill out the form, and then by random I'll choose a winner, and then we'll send you out a prize. Our website is eatinworkout.com. It'll be on your screen right now. Anything else to tell you about? I don't think so. I think we're all there. If I do, I'm sure Chris will prompt me. But come on, follow me through into the kitchen and I'm going to show you this week's recipes number 1's ingredients. Let's take a quick look at the ingredients we're going to use for recipe 1. Again, it's chicken, pasta and pine nuts. So we start over there. The actual quantities are going to be on my website, eatinworkout.com, so you can go there for it, and I'll give it to you for 4 people, servings of 4, but obviously I'm just serving for Chris and I, so I've just halved everything. But we've got basil there that I'm going to chop up, or basil as they say in the States. There's onion. I love purple onion. That's probably not in the ingredients, but it's just going to add a little bit more taste, so I'm going to chop that up. Garlic, which I'm going to chop up first. I'll tell you about that in another video. Very important. See, look, we're using pasta. I told you that the ingredients would be nice and tasty. We're not going to have rabbit food here, so just make sure it's 100% whole wheat. Okay, don't get white pasta. Here's 4.5 ounce chicken breast. There's 4 of you, you'd be using 8 ounces. I'm going to cut that up into medallions. Seasonings here, we got salt and pepper, of course. We're going to give them a pinch. The sun-dried tomatoes, very important. A very small amount of these are chipotle or red pepper flakes, and of course the pine nuts that give their name to the recipe. And you can either buy your sun-dried tomatoes dry, or I got mine in oil, and I'm actually going to use this is extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to use this in the recipe. Now I like using extra virgin olive oil for a number of reasons. 3 main reasons are Firstly, it's healthy for you. It has antioxidants, it's a MUFA, monounsaturated fatty acid. It has a high smoke point, I think up into about 400 degrees, I was reading, and it's incredibly tasty, especially when you put it on salads and drizzle it over things. But be a little bit careful, because just 1 tablespoon of that, okay, is almost equivalent to the same amount of calories in a glass of wine. Talking about wine, Chris is quickly going to show you over there. You've got to have some wine. Oops, I just cooled mine down a little bit, even though it's a red. Took the chill off it. We're going to have a glass of that while we're cooking. And of course, one of our best friends here is our trusted fire hydrant. You probably don't need one of those, but we may do. You never know. We can always jump off the balcony. So let's get going pretty quickly. Sorry I can't show you any major skills. I'm going to cut up the onion and garlic without cutting up myself. Again, look, we're not major chefs, so they're not going to be finite little small bits here. That will do. All right, pinch of salt. I like pinching it. Don't know about you, but rather than taking it out of the shaker. It's nice to feel your food. I mean, if you go and travel far over to like North Africa, Morocco, I don't know if you've ever been there, Tunisia, etc., and also to the Middle East, man, they love to touch their food, me too. It just brings in another sense. So there's your salt, there's your pepper, just to season it a little bit. We're going to leave this for another 30 seconds. In the meantime, I'm going to come across here, and here's my, well, if there was 4 of us, we'd be using a big tablespoon, so I'm going to use like just over half. And this is extra virgin olive oil, but this has had the tomatoes, the sun-dried tomatoes, preserved in it. So we're going to heat that up, and then what we're going to do is, it's almost been a few minutes now for the garlic and the onions, and we're going to put all of those in there while I cut up the chicken. Okay, so we were talking about everything going into our nice hot pan. It's got to be sizzled first, and then we're putting in, so that was obviously the basil, the garlic, see, I told you I wasn't a very good cutter, didn't I? Don't worry about that, that'll all come apart anyway. And what you want to do is, I'm going to start cooking this until it starts to brown. I'm going to add a little bit of our flakes. It's just going to give it a little bit of a kick. Okay, and then while you were away, hold on for a second, Chris, as I go across. Here were the medallions, basically. It just means slices, a fancy word for slices. I try to keep them all the same size, obviously, so they would cook equally. They're going to go in there in a second, once this is all browned, and then we'll be with you. One other thing we better do, just before we add the chicken, is come across. You can see the steam coming off, so that's wonderful. Again, the ingredients and the quantities are on the website. I think for 8 people there's like 4 ounces of pasta. There's about 2 ounces there. So that's going to boil. It's not going to take very, very long. I like it al dente, which means a little bit hard on the teeth, not too hard, so you can just about bite into it. Okay, so while that's cooking, Chris and I are going to go onto the balcony. I'm going to show you how to perform a push-up today. I'm going to show you, as promised, how to perform a push-up with perfect form. After all, I am a personal trainer as well as a nutritionist. So let me show you. We get down, want to place our hands just slightly wider than our shoulders, fingers splayed out. If any of you do yoga, you'll know that from doing downward dog. Think of all your fingertips as pads. Boy, my balcony floor needs cleaning. All right, shoulders over wrists, feet almost as wide as your hips. Okay, head up. Your spine needs to be in alignment, so keep the hips up, okay? Engage the core. So that basically means navel towards your spine, and hold it there. You can still breathe. And then just come down, breathing in, breathing out on the way up. A couple more. Inhale, Exhale on the way up. Don't let the hips sag or move, okay? It's just the elbows that bend, the elbows stay wide. Love this exercise. It's a compound exercise, meaning it involves quite a number of muscle groups. In addition to chest, you're getting biceps, a little bit of triceps, shoulders, and of course core for stabilization. Good. Next, we're going to see you in the kitchen because I can smell our food. It's almost ready. See you there. The last time you saw me, I'd cut the chicken in medallions. One thing I didn't tell you is please use a separate board to your main ingredients, okay? You all know the advantages of using a separate board to cut up meat. This goes all over the top. Now, I roasted some of the pine nuts. Doesn't say that in the recipe, but I just found out that that was really good. That's dangling on there. That's done. All under 25 minutes, guys. Let's turn everything off. And what we're also going to do is take a handful of pine nuts, sprinkle them on the top. You know what? I'd move it around a bit and play with it if I was owning a, there you go, if I was owning a restaurant. But what I will do is, because yes, there is a little bit in presentation, if you're going to serve this to your loved one or even eat it yourself, let's take a couple of sprigs of basil. There's your tomatoes there. There's your basil. And boy, you have it. Chicken pasta and pine nuts, and I tell you what, it is very, very tasty, isn't it, Chris? So, you saw the dish, look at it, and honestly, it tastes, let's have a quick taste. Grab your fork, Chris, go on. Oh, yum. You know it's cooked because the chicken went brown. And those little flakes, red pepper, give it a slight kick. It's not hot, it's just got some flavour to it. Pasta's al dente, pine nuts, give it that nice balance. Okay, question is this. I talked about olive oil and I mentioned 3 main advantages of using olive oil. What are they? Answer that correctly. We'll take all the correct answers and we'll pick out one by random and you'll win a prize. Can't tell you what it is yet. It's not going to be this, by the way. So, also go to the website, which is eatinworkout.com. And what you'll also do, it's on the screen here by the way, have a look at some of our other recipes. There's one, I think we're doing salmon next week, so go there, have a look at the ingredients, be prepared, and we'll show you how to cook it with another exercise. Well, we got to tuck into this, so we bid you adieu. Have a nice Halloween. We'll see you next week. Bye.